Good afternoon, Michael Havers here from Penn News, and today I'm in the constituency of Hackney North and Stoke Newington, which is represented by Diane Abbott. Diane Abbott, of course, of the Labour Party, is a history-making figure within British politics. She was the first black woman elected to our Parliament and is the longest-serving black MP. She's not been without controversy, however. She actually lost the Labour whip last year after some rather careless remarks she made comparing anti-Semitism to the prejudice experienced by ginger people. Students of history will of course know that Jewish people have definitely experienced a much more severe form of prejudice than anyone who's ginger has on the basis of their hair. But anyway, hey, like I say, they're careless remarks, and who hasn't made careless remarks in a letter to a national newspaper that was then published? I mean, I've done several this week, so who am I to judge? Anyway, I think what's important is the debate about whether she should be restored the Labour whip and allowed to run for re-election here in this seat, where she has been safely re-elected several times over, or whether it's time for her to step aside and for someone else to have a go representing Labour in this area. We're going to speak to the voters here and see how they feel. Let's go. Tell me, how do you feel about Diane Abbott?
I think Diane Abbott is a very good MP. You know, she does a lot for black people in general. And some of the things that she say, some people might take it as an offence, but you know, she's only speaking her mind. And I really think that, you know, we should give her a second chance, you know, to run as an MP again. And, you know, I'm one to put my hands up to vote for her.
She's an ignorant person. Labour, you might get a bit more help, but there are too many lefties, anti-Semites. It's all controlled by the Muslims now, all on benefits, and they commit a lot of fraud, all these people. And she's part of it, your friend Diane Abbott. There's no Palestine. There's never been. Prove it. They got no proof. There's no Palestine. There never was. This is the Holy Land. It's a God-given land to the Jew. It's a tiny little land, and they got 49 countries, all Muslim, and half the world. And we can't have our own land.
My daughter's lived in Hackney for years and years and years, and I've seen the way Diane Abbott is such an amazingly good local, you know, representative, you know, for the community and all communities. And I admire the woman, and you know, she has put up with so much intimidation and racism, and she never has sort of cried and moaned, woe is me. You know, she's a determined, a brave woman that's inclusive. I'm just so sad the way she's been treated. I feel she's been made a scapegoat.
She doesn't do enough for the community.
Right.
There's a lot of homeless people suffering with mental health, end up turning to alcohol and drugs. I'm sitting here now trying to get money into hospital. No one wants to help, no one wants to care. I've got a heart condition. Diane Abbott don't really do anything. She goes on like she does, but she doesn't. She's not. No one does a lot for anybody that live on the streets.
She's fantastic.
Yeah. Why do you think she's fantastic? Tell me more.
She's one of the best MPs around. Sometimes she goes around, find out how people are feeling, how they live, what's their problem. That's the best thing that can make MP. If she comes out today, we are voting her again back.
How do you feel about Diane Abbott as an MP?
It's okay.
Yeah? No complaints?
No complaints.
Okay.
For me, it's a good woman, a good MP.
How do you feel about Diane Abbott, first of all, as a local MP?
Very disappointed, very disgusted, very dismayed, very depressed.
What can you tell me why you feel that way?
Years ago, I wrote her a letter concerning my mother, who needed an operation in a local hospital for hip operation. Things weren't proceeding all that well. I wrote to her, I never heard from her.
I think she's done amazing, especially she's been in that party for years, like probably one of the first black female, and I feel like she's just undergone so much pressure, racism, just being a woman, a black woman, like it's been really hard on her, but she's done well.
There was a man in Stoke Newington living under a bus stop for 4 years. The man died, no one even checked on him. Yeah, and that's wrong. A lot of people that sleep out on the streets, they don't want to be out here. I don't choose to be homeless. I might not look homeless, but I am. I've lost everything. And now I'm sitting here trying to get money to get into a hospital, and people just walk past me and look at me and think, oh, just another drug addict. I've been through domestic violence and everything. 16 years I went through mental mental health, violence, emotional, physical, and now I'm trying to get money to get into a hostel. No one even buys me a sandwich or nothing. So Diane Abbott needs to pull her finger up from wherever it's stuck. I'm sorry for the way I'm speaking, but I'm being honest. You know, it's not easy out here for no one.
When she got suspended in the first place, did you think that was justified?
Not really. I don't think it was justified because, you know, she's speaking her mind, and some people, as I said, might take it as an offense when some people speak their mind, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's good and bad in the world, you know, but if somebody's trying their best to try and make things better for themselves, then there's no harm in that.
With regards to this controversy that saw her lose the Labour whip, how did you feel about that?
I feel very good she lost.
Right. And when it comes to the next election, would you like her to be restored the whip?
No
or?
way, no chance.
Hello, and before we continue, can I just encourage you to drop us a like if you're watching on Facebook, and yeah, subscribe too, because it helps the channel and it means you won't miss any future videos. And if you disagree with something that someone said today, then, you know, let us know in the comments. Don't give us a dislike, because that's just darn mean-spirited, and it's not really why I'm doing this. Can you also check out the Pen News Substack at pennews.substack.com. That's Pen News, pennews.substack.com, where you can find our weekly Vox Pops in full with analysis, as well as all the other stories we're working on in the course of the week. And if you enjoy the analysis and you think it's something that's worth my time, please let me know, because it does take time. Alright, that'll do for now. Let's carry on. Do you think it was right that she lost the whip for those remarks? Do you think? Yeah. And would you like to see her regain the whip for the next election, or would you like to see a new candidate?
No, I would like to see her in again. I mean, a new Labour candidate in this ward.
Well, the opinion I have is, in life we are human beings. We are born to make mistakes. The most important thing is when you make a mistake, if you are corrected for the mistakes, you accept it. That's it.
Right.
There's no human being in heaven and earth that has never made a mistake before. We all make mistakes.
And so would you like to see her get the Labour whip back and be able to return it again?
Yes, I would be very happy to see her get it back. She will get it, I'm sure, because she didn't kill nobody.
When it comes to the next election, do you think she should be restored the Labour whip and given a chance to be re-elected as an MP again?
I think so, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, whatever she said, like, I don't think it warrants this. Like, it's just, I don't think she deserves that. So yeah, I do think she should be restored.
Do you think it was fair that she lost the whip?
It's bad, totally bad.
Okay.
She have to come back.
Why do you think it was bad that she lost it?
Because it's, they sacked from the Labour country because she speak bad about the Zionism in Israel, the Holocaust these Israeli people commit in Israel, and I for me it's a Holocaust. I am not anti-Semite, but I am anti-Zionist.
Right, so you're worried about, did you say you think it was more to do with Zionism was the main reason why?
Yeah.
She shouldn't have made the remark. Maybe if she kept her opinions to herself, then she would have been alright.
Okay.
But obviously you don't speak out loud. If you've got your own opinion, keep it to yourself. You're in a society where there's a lot of critics, you know, and you need to be careful with what you say.
Yeah, do you think she should get the whip back and have another chance, or do you think it's...
Everyone deserves a second chance. But if she does get a second chance, then she needs to do things properly.
Right.
Possibly pay attention to more people that are homeless. You know, people out there, they don't choose to be homeless. You could be where I am. Everyone could have everything and then lose it at a second.
Yeah.
You know, I had everything. A house, my children, I had everything. Now I've got nothing.
I don't think it was the right thing to do in the first place. I mean, we're getting now sort of a hierarchy of inequalities. And I think what Diane was talking about, I've only read so much of the rest of that article, which put things into far more context than is actually being represented. And I don't think she's saying only black, you know how to suffer. I don't, and I think that it's been used against her very much because she's left wing, and we've got what I call a right wing, Tory-like Labour Party as opposition.
If she doesn't get the whip back, do you think you might vote Labour?
Yeah, well, I'll definitely vote Labour. You know,
right.
I'm not that much of a conservative voter myself.
But you'll vote Labour more enthusiastically if she does get the whip back.
Whether she gets in or not, I would still be voting Labour.
Labour. Okay, if it was someone else who got the Labour whip, would you feel more friendly towards them as a candidate, or would you still...
I do like Keir Starmer. He's very good. He's very good. And I like the previous Labour leader, Tony Blair.
Right,
I like
okay.
the centre. I don't like this left wing. They're all hypocrites anyway.
Right.
A lot of them got money, but their policy is like everyone should be equal, communist style. And there's all hypocrisy there. It's a lot of them, like Gary Lineker. The guy's a dickhead. He's an idiot.
You say you quite like Keir Starmer. Would you be inclined to vote...
He's a good leader, yes.
Why do you think he's a good leader, out of curiosity?
He's very fair.
Okay.
He's very fair. He's not anti-Muslim, he's not anti-Jewish. And what goes on in the Middle East is very... like people are fair.
If she doesn't get the Labour whip back, would you still vote for Labour, do you think?
Well, I don't think there is any reason why she wouldn't get it back.
Right. But if she didn't, if it was a different Labour candidate, would you still vote Labour, do you think?
I will vote for Diana. I prefer her than any other Labour candidate.
Have you given any thought to how you might vote this year?
Yeah, for Labour.
For Labour, you 100% or still...
100%. There isn't anyone else.
Okay. Even if she doesn't get the whip back and it's going to be someone else, would you still vote for Labour?
Yeah, because regardless, there isn't anyone else.
And have you given any thoughts to how you might vote this year?
No.
No. So, is there anyone you're ruling out as you're not going to vote for?
Diane Abbott, of course, I'm ruling it out.
Yes, I like the previous candidate for general election, Corbyn. I like Corbyn.
You thought Corbyn was a good chap?
Yeah.
Curious to know, do you think it would be any different if you had a Conservative MP here?
Well, yeah, of course it would.
What do you think would be different?
I personally think that they've pulled a finger out.
You think the Conservatives would be more
I
proactive?
think they're more proactive.
I don't know if you're going to be able to vote this year, but if you were, do you know who you might vote for?
Yeah, Labour.
You'd vote Labour?
Vote Labour.
Right,
I'd
okay.
vote Labour, definitely.
Okay.
100%.
So, would you then be inclined to vote Labour, do you think, if it wasn't Diane Abbott? Because you like Keir, you're not sure about Rishi.
I don't really know much because I think a lot of them went to left-wing communism, hippie like the Union, all hypocrites. And I don't know a lot, but thank God he got rid of Corbyn. He might get rid of him completely now, even as an MP. I never really vote. I've always been a Tory, a Conservative.
Okay, that's that for today. As you can see, there's not a uniformity of opinion in this constituency. Some people would like to be rid of Diane Abbott and are quite glad that she got suspended. After all, this is a safe Labour seat, so it's going to be Labour whoever ends up being the candidate. That being said, there are some people who didn't really like Diane Abbott who are going to be voting Labour regardless. And there were some people who really would like Diane to come back who will also be voting Labour regardless. So as you can see, whatever happens, Keir Starmer's not going to be missing out on a seat here. That's it for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.